on. All right, Sheba, queen of the night. I'm so thrilled to have you here with me for Small Business Sunday. Oh my goodness, how have you been?
I am good. Thank you so much for having me. It's Ariel, right? Is it Ariel or Ariel? Ariel, nice to meet you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So a couple weeks back, we interviewed your business partner, Oriana from Deluxe Dance Studio, and you're a co-owner of Deluxe Dance Studio, and we're here to talk about another form of performance. So as I understand, you are a burlesque performer and a sex coach.
Yes, that is true. That is true. Guilty as charged. I've been performing for over 10 years now. I started performing in the San Francisco Bay Area. That's where I'm from. And I've been in Florida for almost 4 years now. But I perform all over. I perform all over the country. And I'm a producer here in Tampa Bay as well.
Really? Tell me more about this production that you do.
So I've been producing for same amount of time that I've been performing. I have a production company called Sheba Queen of the Night Entertainment, and you can find me on Facebook. I have a background in theater and event production. So I've been doing this for quite a long time, and I specialize in variety shows. So Oriana is definitely someone who is very commonly on my stages because I love to mix up not just burlesque, but burlesque and sideshow and belly dancing and hula hoops and, circus arts. And so when you come to one of my shows, it's not just burlesque. You'll probably get a little, a taste of all different forms of performance art, including drag. I used to have a queer cabaret in Oakland, California called Seduction Farouche, which is French for fierce seduction. And so I brought that here. I did that in Dunedin when I first moved here, and I've done a couple of my shows around town. Beautiful Anarchy, which intermixes punk rock music and burlesque, so it's a little bit
oh my god,
yeah, it's kind of like burlesque, and then you get in the mosh pit. It's like super fun.
Oh my god, I have never wanted to go to a show so badly just by hearing about it. So how frequently would you say you put on shows?
Right now it's probably like quarterly. I just did Halloween is like my favorite time of the year. And so I just did a really big show called Purgatory, which was at Coastal Creative, and it was an art exhibit that I did with my partner through Nightlife Arts. That's our art production page. And so we had a bunch of creepy dark art in this beautiful loft space, and we had a fashion show with this creepy corset couture designer, and we had body painting by Lottie Dottie Artistry, and then we had a burlesque performance art, and it was creepy themed, and it was just fabulous. It was so great. I just did another show at Groove Haven, and it was just bands and burlesque, but it was a costume contest, and so everybody dressed up. It was so much fun. And so, I like to mix it up and do different kind of events, but I absolutely love the art form, and it's something that is a huge part of my life.
So what are some misconceptions that you think people might have about burlesque?
Oh, it's like my favorite topic. I was just talking about this last night because, it's funny, like not everybody knows about burlesque. It started in kind of, environments where people, it wasn't commonly seen in public. You would have to go to a nightclub to see it. And so it's more of a performance art. So you'll find it in specific venues that, have it. But a lot of people immediately go to like stripping because, the art of the tease is, you are removing clothing. And so it's a sensual art form. And so a lot of people I feel like are very, I don't know, taken aback by that. It's not their everyday, experience that, they see someone empowered in their body and, doing sensual movement and removing their clothing. And so it's something that people definitely are not, if they don't already know about it, it definitely moves them in a certain way. And so usually when people have seen it for the first time, they have a really excited response. Like I remember I did a show in Sarasota at a comedy club there, and there was this little old lady, and she was 80 years old, and she like jumped out of her seat at the end of the show, and she was like, "I'm so glad that I came tonight." And she was with her husband. He's like in a little suit, and it was so cute. They were like on a date, and yeah, like she was just like so moved by seeing the type of performance art it is. And so it's uh people are really surprised by the art form because it's so exciting to see women and men like just empowered in their bodies.
I can definitely agree with that. I think it's great to do anything that can sort of like lift the stigma around sexual expression because it's such an important part of who we are as people. And being able to do anything to kind of make that a more comfortable space is such a valuable skill.
Yes, definitely. And so it's something that you really have to experience. I think a lot of people, they associate the art form with either the movie, which don't get me wrong, it was a great movie called Burlesque, and it had Christina Aguilera and Cher. And
Share.
okay, I'm not going to say it wasn't a fun movie, but that's not really burlesque. Like that's more cabaret. And cabaret comes from, theater arts and dance. And it's not necessarily not a part of the whole like culture and style of dance because a lot of burlesque can be performed in the thematics of the 1920s or flapper dancing and cabaret style of costuming, but it's not the same thing. And so you really have to go. For me, like when I first saw burlesque, I was in New York and they had a venue there called the Slipper Room, and it just like blew my mind. Like there was a guy named Jelly Donut, and he literally was like a giant jelly donut, and like you never know what you're gonna see. Like there's this brilliant performance artist from San Francisco who he moved to, I think he's lived everywhere, but he lives in Germany now, and he's Scotty the Blue Bunny, and he is a 7-foot blue bunny on stiletto heels, and he's an MC, and he's just fabulous. Like you will experience nothing like him. And so it's like you never know what you're going to get when you go to a show, and each performer is their own character, their own expression of who they are as an artist. And so it's really a unique experience.
Wow, I love that. That sounds so exciting. I really hope that I'll get to catch one of your shows sometime.
Yeah.
So you're also a sex coach. Can we touch a little on that?
Yeah, so it's actually they go hand in hand. Like my performance art is definitely a form of how I express my own sexuality. And I actually fell in love with burlesque when I was doing the play, The Vagina Monologues. And so around that time, like I was really into this form of activist theater, and it was really empowering and feminist, and we were using our voices. And then when I fell in love with burlesque, it was like, this is the exact same thing. I am an activist, but I'm in my body, and I'm being a feminist, but I'm, it's a physical form. And then I realized like I really wanted to help other people get into their bodies and kind of express their sexuality. And so as I started to become an instructor and teach other women sensual movement, it kind of leaned me more in the same direction that I was going in with being a part of the Vagina Monologues, which is, the conversation around that play is about your experiences in your body, sometimes sexual trauma, sometimes healing. And I really loved that conversation. And I started to mentor and learn how to be a coach. And so I'm a sex and intimacy coach, and I work with people around all kinds of things. Like everybody has, something they want to work on, whether it's a couple and they want to work on their relationship, or they want to learn to love their body more, or they want to learn how to allow touch in new ways. It's like it can be so many different things that, everybody has experiences that, they want to work through, or things they want to get better at. And so it's just really holding space for people around their own sexual exploration and journey.
Wow. I can't tell you how great that is to hear. Like the way that you're just so passionate about this and the confidence that you exude. That's so refreshing to see and hear.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, really, I think a lot of people have experience with therapy, and it can be the same thing, like it can be like talk therapy, but there's also things that you can do by like getting in your body, like with sensual movement and kind of different types of modalities that can help as well. So if somebody is in a relationship and they're like having issues come up, that's a direction that they can go that not a lot of people know about, is that they can bring a sex coach into their relationship.
How does that normally go? Like when you are approaching being a sex coach, like, do you find that couples are nervous? Do you ever do just one-on-one sex coaching? Like, how does this work therapeutically?
Yeah, I've worked with all kinds of different people, like individuals as well as couples, also groups, if people are polyamorous and they have multiple partners, or they're in a triad, like they can see me also. Like I'm really open to any relationship structure or style. And so someone, like a couple came to me and they wanted to work on, it was really beautiful, reconnecting after they had just had a baby. And so they literally made a decision together to like put this time on the calendar after they had had their baby, and they wanted to make time to reconnect after that experience. And so doing guided sensual massage and creating things that they could do together to build the intimacy and reconnect, because so much happens in your body when you give birth, to
Definitely.
a child. So it's really like it was two separate things. It was them developing you know a new form of intimacy within the dynamic of their relationship, but also so much about how to reconnect with your body after giving birth. So like there's definitely so much that can come out of a session. It really just depends on what the people are bringing in. And so really anything that you're struggling with, there's ways to kind of work through them and create new pathways to having new experiences sexually.
Do you ever find that perhaps a client could be nervous or intimidated by the thought of going through with sex coaching?
I feel like usually people are really excited to work with a sex coach because they've come to a certain place where they either they don't know where to go, or something that they've already been trying isn't working. And a lot of times, like if you're going to a therapist, I'm super pro therapy, but if you are like just talking about something, it doesn't really shift that. And so like finding something to do, like let's say you want to, work on reconnecting with your body, or you have a lot of anxiety or stuck energy, like kind of coming into the body more and doing things like mindful masturbation can help. And so there's lots of different ways that you can kind of find, uh, create new experiences for yourself also. So I feel like a lot of people are more excited than nervous. Usually couples are also like really ready to, get somewhere in the issues that they're coming to in their relationships. And so a lot of people are just like really ready to do some work. And so it's like I get really excited about working with new clients for sure, because it's like people are like, let's do this.
So you had recently done an event with another sexologist. It was on Facebook.
Yeah.
So are there a lot of opportunities to really talk about things like sexual health and sexual expression?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I'm a sex educator as well as a sex coach, and I think there's so many people who are activists for, um, you know, having a healthy sex life and learning about, different ways that you can have pleasure. There's so many people that are doing this that I'm going to a event tonight, where there's going to be a live demo at this event that I'm performing at. And there's two practitioners that are teaching something called the erotic blueprints. And that's about like finding the style that you like to connect with your partner, and then finding ways to connect with those specific ways of like receiving pleasure. And so, like, you wouldn't even know that these workshops are happening all the time. You just have to seek them out. And so, like, where I'm from in San Francisco, there's places like Good Vibrations that has workshops, and there's a lot of places like sex shops and centers for sexuality that have workshops. And so seeking out resources, finding workshops in the areas that you like. I recently did a workshop about body worship. And so how to develop the tool and resource within your relationship, and use body worship to connect with your partner. And so, I mean, there's so many exciting workshops that you can do. The other workshop I did recently was getting the kinks out and incorporating
Clever. I love it. That's so clever.
just incorporating like kinky play into your sex life, and kind of making sex fun, and finding ways that you can explore using costumes and playing dress up, or playing into different characters. And so that's another workshop that I offer. But there's tons of workshops online, so people, if they say that they're not really satisfied, I feel like it's usually because they just are running out of ideas, and it's totally normal and healthy to ask for help. And that's where a sex coach comes in to kind of give new ideas to bring into the bedroom.
So please let me know and stop me if you feel any question is too invasive or too personal. Um, to be a sex coach, you have to have a certain amount of confidence and usually comfort within your own body. Did you feel comfortable with yourself as a sexual being before becoming a coach, or did that come after? Or how has that changed your outlook on sex?
I mean, I definitely think that I am very unique because I grew up in a very sex positive home.
Oh, good.
And so from a very young age, I was very comfortable with my own sexuality, and very comfortable with my body. I, am a burlesque performer. And so that definitely helped to, come into my body as a erotic artist. And that definitely makes me feel, very confident. And that leads into, being able to be a practitioner, and to guide people to be in their own bodies, and to invite them to explore and come into their own empowerment and confidence within their body. So it definitely has a part, for sure.
So, which came first for you career wise, performance art or coaching?
I went to school for theater arts, and so I was a performer, but the type of performance that I was doing was in the realm of sexuality. So I really feel like it kind of led me down that path, and has been with me for quite some time. It's definitely something that I'm very passionate about, and have done quite a lot of charity work with Planned Parenthood, and believe in, like really having resources available for people around sex and health and wellness.
So, if someone wanted to find out more about either seeing you perform or getting some coaching done, where can they go?
It's really easy. I make it really easy. It's shebaqueenofthenight.com. And so that's my website. You can also find me on, I have my sex coach platform on Instagram is Sheba. And so I'll share with you the link so that you can share it as well. But it's just, that's my handle on Instagram. And then you can also follow me on my Facebook profile, my page, Sheba Queen of the Night, and find me on Instagram under that handle as well.
I'm following all those pages, and let me tell you, there's great stuff on there.
Yay. And yeah, there's some information about how to work with me if you're interested in coaching, and if you're interested in coming and seeing a show, you can find that information there as well.
Oh, I'm going to come see a show.
Yay.
I could never miss it. And I'm so sorry that I'm missing this one that you're about to do. I wish I'd had.
Oh, that's okay. There's going to be so many more.
Well, you're going to find me in the audience at least one or two of them, because I love all of this. Everything that comes out of your mouth is pure gold.
Thank you. And you can also go to my YouTube channel. I have a talk show of my own called Sheba's Spice Rack. And I interview other practitioners and sex coaches. And I just had Carol Queen, who is, the historian for Good Vibrations. And so you can see all of those episodes on my YouTube channel, as well as some of my performance art.
Oh, I have not seen the performance art. I did catch the segment with Carol King. I thought it was wonderful. I'm a fan of the Spice Rack, for sure. You have just been so enlightening. And I really think the work you do is very, very important work. Having that freedom of expression with performance, with helping people with coaching. I think these are things that are so important that get overlooked, which was a reason that I really wanted to prioritize this interview, because I think it's just so significant in our culture.
Thank you so much for having me. And I'll be having some upcoming workshops. So if people are curious, they can come and learn more.
I will make sure that I include the links in the description. So as a thank you for your time and your interest in participating in Crypnotic Small Business Sunday, you are going to receive a goodie box exclusive for you, full of Crypnotic merch.
And oh my goodness.
Anyone who does an interview is automatically entered to be considered for a nomination in the Crypnotic Small Business Awards for 2021. Categories and nominees will be announced in December. So I am so thrilled. This has been fantastic. If you know anyone who wants to do an interview, pop them in my inbox. And all the viewers out there, if you want to get promoted for Small Business Sunday, you could be sitting where Sheba is right now. You probably won't have as much fantastic makeup as she does, but we can.
Thank you so much for having me, Ariel.
Thank you. I might even have to interview again. Like, this was just such a good time. And I'm going to make sure that people know where to find your shows. And I don't know, maybe a coaching session wouldn't be too bad.
Yes, please.
Very therapy and body positivity. And I am just, I can't say thank you enough. So I hope you like your goodie box.
I'm sure I'm going to love it. Thank you so much for supporting local businesses.
Of course, it's so important. We need each other to thrive, and people need to know their options out there.
Yep.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.